So I'm going to do a little demonstration on piping. So I'm going to go into my external references and I'm going to go ahead and reload a external reference file that I have for mechanical drawing. And then when I zoom in, I can see various pumps and other mechanical details from this external reference. I'm going to drop in some various components and then go from there. This particular one has flange sets and things like that, but real quick, just to get a drawing started, I'm going to use a 3P command, 3D polyline command, and I'm going to start at that location for the reference. I'm just going to go over here and then extend it out. It shows the connection on the line coming to this point. There's two, so I'm going to go up from that point. Get another one that'll start right here at that pump, go to the intersection at the center of this line, and then past that point. And I'll flip to an isometric view just so we can see it real quick. There's two route lines, and in between there I'm going to add a vertex. I'm just going to go up, and we'll go 8 feet in the vertical. And then I'll take that same point, we're just going to go 8 feet in the vertical as well. Looks like my polar tracking set to 45, so I'm going to change that real quick. Have vertex go on the vertical, 8 feet. Same thing here, 8 feet. And then I can take the whole thing here and shift that up. And if you know the height of your equipment pad and your pump, you can calculate the center line of the POC. In this particular instance, it was a 4-inch housekeeping pad, and the pump center line elevation is 1'2", so I'm going to go 1'6" vertical. And my connection is there. I'm going to take this other route line that I wanted and move that 1'6" as well. I'm going to take the point and add a vertex and go up to that calculated distance at the intersecting point. And now I have my two tie-ins. I'm going to take this particular one and I'm going to fill that with piping on a weld by threaded connection. At this point, there it goes, weld by thread. I'm going to change the size of the pipe to 3-inch. And then it's obviously calculating it around because we're using a piping library, so it'll populate that portion. And then I'm going to pick the same one here, and then I'll tie in and show a clash at the top. And I'm going to turn off my attacher real quick. And I'm going to come here to my piping, and I'm going to come to a straight T, and I'm going to cut in a weld T at the intersection of those two. You'll notice that when you use that type of item or that option, it will automatically add in weld gaps. And then I can bring my attacher onto the face of this T and add in a weld gap. And that should be under joints. And I'm going to do a field weld because they're going to connect those two out in the field. So it's a different type of connection. Then I'm going to turn off my attacher, select my pipe that I extended up, and go to just the center of the bottom. And you'll see that the blue edge of the piping is located on the bottom of that weld rather than the top. Turn off my attacher arrow again. Come to the bottom here, and I'm going to go ahead and connect a fitting. And in this particular case, it's a 150-pound raised-faced weld neck flange. And I'm going to take off this cut in again. And this time, when I select my pipe, the fitting comes in backward. You can see the slope of the weld neck is in the reverse. So I'm going to swap ends, and then I'm going to calculate where that connects. It's the end of that pipe, and it should cut back the pipe and put in the weld. Now I'm going to change my visual style to conceptual so you can see it happening on this next one. And I'm going to rotate my view just ever so slightly. And again, I'm going to take the 150. Oh, you know what I did? I used a flat flange. So I'm going to take that off and that weld. I'm going to stretch that pipe back to the end. And we'll try that with a raised face this time. Take off this cut in, swap ends, choose the face of the flange, And now we have a raised faced weld neck flange there. I'm going to do the same thing on this one. Swap ends to the face. And now I have my 150-pound raised face weld neck flange, as well as 3-inch pipe connecting to that service. And that's very rudimentary start, but from this point we can then track the rest of the piping systems, either in the plan view or a couple of multi-views. But this allows me to get a very visual representation of what's happening with the piping system, cutting in any connections or anything like that, and then making any changes of directions as needed. So pretty useful. So similar to the previous experience, we brought in into Revit, another 3D modeling program. We brought in the linked CAD file and chose the 4.1 central plant floor plan, allowed the intersection or the orientation and position to fall into where its origin is placed, zoomed to locate the piping system that we want to work on, and in this particular instance we're going to use the piping. Now in the previous one I used a 3-inch piping so that it would kind of line up directly with the 2D line work of the drawing, but in this particular case it's going to it does designate 4-inch, so I'll use 4-inch on this particular one. On the systems design, you can place mechanical equipment and other components. In this particular instance, I'm just going to leave it as is. I am going to choose the piping specification and choose my diameter of the piping system, and then the starting elevation, as we did before, 1 foot 6 inch for our starting point, and then we'll pick our starting location, and then we'll route to the midpoint of that system. And then before we turn, we can designate a new elevation, in which we'll jump up to the 8-foot mark and hit apply. And now when we proceed past that system, we should see some indications of the piping systems changing. I'm going to hit enter to stop that part of the command. And then I'm going to come down to our detail, our drawing detail, and choose fine, and it should change our appearance of our line work to now a 3D representation. And there's an option to use thin lines to give it some appearance of what's actually being drawn. So if you notice right here, the 3D piping line work actually aligns pretty well with our system. So I'm going to go ahead and do one more piping component, and I'm going to choose the start of the other pump. But you'll notice that I forgot to change my elevation. So I'm going to stop that one, and I'm going to change that back to 1 foot 6 and restart the piping system. And go to here, and then you'll notice that on this particular software, it actually cut in a T and the line work coming up to it. So I'm going to hit escape, and I'm going to choose a 3-dimensional view. So if I come up to my view, I can select that piping system here, and then I can change my section box or selection box so I can see that pipe work, and I'm going to change it to a fine. And you'll notice that that one instantly connected to the piping system. Now, just like the other one, this one allows you to add fittings and components within the piping specs, and then put them in your system as you draw. It's a very rudimentary drawing showing how quickly you can take an existing plan or routing design and then quickly add piping to it and then coordinate it with other trades.